What if your business struggles to have nothing to do with tactics? What if the real issue isn't your funnel, or your ad strategy, or your product, but your alignment? What if the same law that governs atoms, planets, and the universe is the same law governing your e-commerce store? And what if mastering yourself isn't motivational advice, but a universal law? Today, in the Hidden Power series, we're going deeper. Welcome back, everyone, to Above and Beyond Affiliate Marketing. I am your host, Jason Ryland, and as always, I am joined by our amazing thinking partner, Sophia.
Hey guys.
Sophia is here to ask some of the questions you might already be thinking about yourself.
It might be a tough one today.
It just might be, Sophia, because we're continuing our journey through the Hidden Power series. We're diving deeper into the teachings of Thomas Troward and uncovering how principles written over 100 years ago are still shaping business, leadership, affiliate marketing, and entrepreneurship today. Not as theory, but as law. This isn't hype. This isn't some manifestation talk. This is about structure. This is about alignment. This is about order. Because the truth here is, guys, mastering yourself is the foundation for mastering business.
Jay, I'm listening closely today. I'm not even sure yet what questions to ask, but I have a feeling this one is going to connect some deep dots.
It will. Because today we're talking about the law of alignment and what happens when the part recognizes its place in the whole. So let's begin. We're going to start with intelligence scales. To really understand alignment, we really have to start small. And the truth is, the law of spirit doesn't stop at you. Now, Thomas Troward talked about this, and he showed us that the intelligence exists even at the smallest level, even in the atoms that make up your body. Even the tiny parts working together form something greater. Atoms form you. But here's the real question. If intelligence exists in the small and intelligence exists in you, why would it stop there? Well, in fact, it doesn't. Just like atoms form a person, people form something larger. People form a family. People form a company. People form a movement. There is a collective intelligence. And if a principle is true, it works at every level.
Are you saying that the same law that builds a human body also builds organizations and businesses?
Yes. So if order creates strength in a body, order creates strength in a company. If alignment creates health in a person, alignment creates health in a business. You're not just building a Shopify store, you're building an extension of your internal order. That brings me to a point of our alignment really does multiply. And so, here, if intelligence scales upward, what happens as it expands? The truth is, when two forces move together, their power doesn't just add up, it multiplies. Distance between that weakens, alignment with that strengthens. This is not philosophy, that's law. Okay?
So, the closer our internal alignment is to our mission, the more powerful our business becomes.
That's exactly true, Sophia. If your thinking is scattered, your power is scattered. If your discipline aligns with your ambition, momentum multiplies. Mastering yourself is the foundation for mastering business because you're not building separate from who you are. You're building from it. That brings me to the point of this law is constant. You're the variable. And this is where it really becomes personal, you guys, because if a principle is real, it works everywhere, right? So the principle does not change. but the material it acts on does. Here, I'm going to give you an example, okay? 2 times 10 equals 20. 5 times 10 equals 50. 9 times 10 equals 90. You see what I did there? The multiplier didn't change, but the input did. The law of discipline doesn't bend. The law of focus doesn't fluctuate. The results differ because the builder differs.
So, are you trying to say that success isn't selective? It's responsive?
Absolutely, Sophia, because that law is constant. You're the variable. That brings me to another point of unity that really generates power. So, what does that mean for your individual power? Okay, power increases through integration. So, it doesn't, it's not addition. When your beliefs, when your habits, when your focus, when your mission, and your faith move together, force multiplies. Scattered entrepreneurial, they just struggle. They just struggle. And integrated builders advance.
When you say each person is the center of their own world, what does that really mean?
Means you are the center of your sphere and responsibility, not just the source of law, but accountable within it. Your thoughts shape your decisions shape your outcomes, and within your own circle, you have creative influence. And that brings me to another point, centers within centers. Okay? You're not the highest center. You are part of a much larger system. Just like an atom exists within the body, a business exists within an economy. There are layers of intelligence here. There are centers within centers, and intelligence increases upward.
So, what you're saying is that we are never operating alone?
Oh, you're never operating alone, Sophia. You're influencing, and you're also being influenced. And when ego softens, responsibility sharpens. So now this brings me to alignment that creates freedom. Here's where people really misunderstand freedom. Happens all the time. Alignment does not restrict you, it empowers you. A train is most powerful when it's on its tracks, right? Now let's remove those tracks. And now you get derailment. Markets respond to value. Growth responds to consistency. Resisting principle creates friction. Aligning with it creates momentum. That law, okay, so now we're going to talk about that law that replaces fear. Okay, many people approach higher intelligence incorrectly, I believe. They imagine unpredictability, they imagine favoritism, but law is consistent. Truth doesn't fluctuate. When you understand that, fear decreases and then confidence increases. Now, that brings me to where you're looking upward will expand you. So, what happens when you stop seeing yourself as separate? When you look downward toward shortcuts, you gain control over small, tiny, petty things. But when you look upward toward principle, you gain a better perspective. And perspective increases your intelligence. You don't disappear in alignment, you expand from it. And that's what brings me to the point of your growth is built into the system. That's the encouraging part, you guys. Growth is built into life itself. When you increase clarity, when you increase discipline, and when you can increase focus, vitality increases. Demand creates supply, not through wishful thinking, but through positioning. The only real limits are misuse and ignorance. Mastering yourself removes both. Now, we're going to move with something that's larger than the whole, okay? I'm going to get a little serious here with you guys for a moment. Growth requires movement. You cannot move backward while expanding forward progress. There isn't one law for you and another for the universe, okay? There's only one law of order, and it applies everywhere. When you grow in discipline, humanity gains one more discipline builder. When you master yourself, the collective strengthens. Progress doesn't wait. So align with it. Or I guess you can resist it. That's your choice. God gave you choice. And now we have come to the heart of it, okay? Selfishness is very small thinking, you guys. It sees isolation. But your power comes from connection. The physical world operates in harmony. Systems operate with intelligence, and at the center of that intelligence is spirit. It's not cold and it's not mechanical. It's intelligent, it's responsive, and I'm going to tell you right now that responsiveness at its highest form is love. The supreme intelligence we've been talking about that higher center, the unchanging law, that expanding force we've been talking about. That's God. It's God's not distant. God's not unpredictable. He's the author of order. And when you align your thinking, when you align your discipline, and when you align your mission with Him, you don't lose power. You step into it. Stop building from ego, you guys. Start building from stewardship. Build a foundation that's gonna help. Stop operating from fear. Start operating from law. Master yourself. Align upward. You must build with intention. And as always, go above and beyond. Thank you for listening today to our Above and Beyond Affiliate Marketing's Hidden Power series. So I want you to go on today and master yourself, align upward, please build with intention, and I'll see you in the next episode where we're actually going to talk about logical and unavoidable result of the universal life principle which permeates all nature. And there's going to be a link to our new website full of goodies. You guys are going to love this. So go above and beyond. Hey, before you go, say goodbye, Sophia.
Goodbye, Sophia.